Hey guys, so today we're going to do an Empties video, but I'm hoping to kind of make it a multi-purpose one in conjunction with like all the holiday sales that are coming up. So while we tackle some of these empties, I'm going to try and kind of direct you to any sales that may include some of these products so you can get them on sale to try if you haven't tried them before. And hopefully we'll also, aside from tackling like repeat empties, also some declutter items that I've either replaced or have tossed altogether. And also I'm going to be doing like a mini haul along with the empties, but they're mainly things that I've stocked back up on, which is one of the main things I love to do during the holiday sales because everything is much more affordable thanks to the sales. Anything that I know I love and that I constantly and repeatedly go through, that way I can stock up on them for a better deal, I guess. So hopefully I'll be able to guide you to some of these sales if you choose to, you know, take this opportunity to get some of the things that may have been on your wish lists. So I have a whole bunch of empties here, so let's get started. I'm going to do kind of the same thing as last time, starting with a lot of skincare and then move into some makeup items, then body, hair care, dental hygiene, and yeah. So first up is another bottle of the Veronique Kristina Holey Pure and Essential Oil-Free Oil Cleanser. I won't talk too much about this because you guys already heard me rave on and on about it in my previous empties, and if not, I'll link it up in the info corner here so you can take a look at that one. But yeah, I love this cleanser. It's super gentle but highly effective. It's great at removing sunscreen, makeup, anything really. And I also love to use this in addition to the Cocokind Chlorophyll mask. Now this is a trial size that I got with my previous Cocokind order. I had seen it kind of all over Instagram and everyone loved it. Plus I love masks also, and anything I find that has spirulina my skin really loves. So I thought I'd pick up a trial size version of this, and I believe that this is only $4, which is, I think, a really great price for how much product actually came in this. I should note that I used it kind of differently than I think how most people use it. So what I've seen on Instagram and kind of on YouTube is that people love to do this as an all-over face mask, which is, you know, how they advertise it. But this mask has great ingredients. It has obviously the chlorophyll, spirulina, matcha, I think, and I remember it being also, as with all their other products, a really simple ingredient list. And I actually loved using this as a gua sha routine with my Veronique Kristina Holey cleanser. So I do one full pump of this, and then I take probably about like half a teaspoon worth of the chlorophyll mask and mix it together in my palms. Then I'd spread it over the face and do my gua sha routine with it. And it was the most luxurious, like, deep cleanse and also facial massage. So it really doubled as a very effective and luxurious experience for the skin. I think this duo is super affordable and a great kind of extra step if you want to do a deep cleanse, maybe weekly, which is what I do. I would once a week mix these two together and then do a whole gua sha routine with it, and it was just heavenly. And then my skin loved it as well. And I should say that the reason I decided to kind of mix this in with the oil cleanser is because I am combo skinned and I do have a lot, or not a lot, but some dry areas. So I found that the chlorophyll mask by itself was a bit too drying. So, and even if I mixed it in with a hydrosol instead of water to use as an overall face mask, it was just too, I shouldn't say intense because compared to other masks, it's very, very gentle. But I think it was just a bit too drying for my skin, and especially because I had to constantly keep it wet so that it wouldn't dry out. So I read on their site, I think, or maybe it was their Instagram account, and one of the tips was to mix in an oil cleanser. And so once I paired those two together, I never looked back. I think a full size of the chlorophyll mask is $14, which I think is super affordable, and especially because it has such great ingredients in it, I would highly recommend, if you're looking to kind of boost your cleansing ritual, that is a great way to go. If you just get the full size mask, and then you could double the purpose of it by using it as an overall face mask, or you can use it with mixed in with an oil cleanser, and then it's a great way to kind of make it a bit more gentle, a bit more hydrating, but also deep cleaning. So finished this one, loved it. Don't mind the other mask in here. I've just since reused this little container because I keep all of these little trial glass pots for anytime I'm opening like a sachet of samples of anything. It's just a nice way to keep it kind of airtight. So moving on to, let's stay on the Marie Veronique and Kristina Holey train and talk about this balancing HypoTonic. So I think most recently you've probably seen this in both my AM and PM skincare routines video. I love this stuff. This is my 5th bottle. I checked my Google spreadsheet earlier. And I think this is just a great toner. Like I said, I've used already 5 bottles of it, and each bottle lasts me just around like 4 months, a little over, a little under, depending on how often I'm using it. But I always used it as my morning cleanse by just pouring a bit onto a cotton round and then wiping my face after just like washing it a bit with water. And that's my morning cleanse. It contains both, I think, pre and probiotics in here as well. So I think it's, along with the toning and cleansing effect of it, it also was highly nourishing. It feels very hydrating as well for a toner. And this one, along with the rest of the Kristina Holey and Marie Veronique line, is essential oil free, so it's great for those with sensitive skin. In their suggested directions, it says to soak cotton round with the balancing HypoTonic. I never needed to soak the entire cotton round. I would kind of just place the cotton round on top once I've opened it, and then do like this twice, and that was all I needed. And that would last me 4 months. Also, during my bout of dermatitis, like September, October of last year, this actually helped my skin a lot. I found that anything that I was using when I had dermatitis just irritated it, and I actually went just like no washing, no facial cleanser, no facial moisturizers, nothing. At first I didn't even use this, but once it got like a little better, I started using it, and I found that it actually helped my dermatitis a bit. Also, off the bat, it smells like apple cider vinegar. So if you aren't interested in anything that smells like vinegar or is overly acidic, I would say maybe steer clear of this one. For anyone with sensitive skin, this is a great underrated product. The last thing that I used from Marie Veronique is a bottle of their treatment oil. So this is just from the Marie Veronique, her own skincare line. This one does have essential oils in it. When I had kind of switched over my entire skincare regimen to the Marie Veronique Kristina Holey essential oil free line, this was the only one that I included in my skincare routine that had essential oils. But it has very limited essential oils in here, and I loved this for my acne prone skin. So I am combo skinned and sensitive and acne prone. I started using the treatment oil as kind of like a daytime moisturizer, just to help with my natural oils and the fact that my skin is acne prone. But I think this is also a highly underrated product. It's definitely a heavier oil, so once I kind of like acclimated to the Pacific Northwest weather, I think this was a bit too much as a daytime moisturizer, so I've since changed to a different one. But I think if you're in harsher climates, especially now that we're heading into winter, this is a great oil to try, especially if you're acne prone and sensitive. I think this is also like at least my 4th bottle, and one of these bottles lasts an entire 6 months for me. Marie Veronique every year has a Black Friday sale, and if you buy directly from Marie Veronique, Rituel.com, she will have a 20% off sale Black Friday time. So I think it's a great time to kind of try these if you want. You can buy the full size versions if you'd like, but she also offers travel sizes or like trial sizes of this line now on her site, which is great because for a long time she didn't, along with trial sizes of all of her items, so the treatment oil. So if you are interested in Marie Veronique at all, Black Friday is a great time to try it. Their shipping is super fast, everything comes very well packed, eco-friendly, and their customer service is also great. My next item you'll also have seen in my recent AM skincare routine, although I used it in the evening too. It's the Wildcare Rosemary and Bay Hydrosol. So this one was like a sleeper hit. I had purchased it because I started incorporating hydrosols into my routine, and this one, I have to say, when I purchased it, I wasn't expecting too much from it, aside from the hydrating aspect of using a hydrosol. I did ask the owner, Courtney, which one of her hydrosols she recommended for sensitive skin, and she recommended this one because I think this is like their very first one that they came out with, the OG hydrosol. And when I first tried it, it was amazing. I think I was first just taken by the scent. It's very savory, I would say, because it is rosemary and bay. It's not anything super floral or sweet, and I tend to gravitate towards scents that aren't overly sweet. So this one was really pleasant and really mild, which I was surprised by. And then once I really started like spritzing generously in between skincare steps, I really started to see a difference in my skin. And this one really helped with my inflammation, I think, along with the hydrating aspect. So my skin was like very plump after I started really incorporating this into my skincare routine. I'm definitely going to be repurchasing this soon. I already have a few of her items on my list, so next time I'll definitely be purchasing this along with a few other items. So now I have like 4 of these small sample sizes. There should have been 5, but if you follow me on Instagram at Tender Forms, you may have seen a story where I accidentally dropped one of them and it shattered along with my heart because it was one of the items that I had really been loving, and I had only made my way through like half the sample bottle at the time. But it's fine because I've since purchased a full size. But let's go through some of these sample sizes. So all of these are from Heart of Gold. I have their little kind of cards that they come with that talk about the ingredient list, how you should apply it, and what it focuses on doing. Let's start with Rose and Chamomile. So this is a Hydrolat. It was a limited edition over the summertime, I believe, from Heart of Gold. And I hadn't tried any of their hydrolats before. Actually, hydrolats and hydrosols were relatively new to me at the time. And this was the first one that I tried before Wildcare. And this was the one that made me believe in hydrosols. The scent was so beautiful. It is very floral and a little sweet, but I would say it's, as with all hydrolats and hydrosols, it's a very mild scent, and that's what I love about them. So this was one of the first hydrosols I tried, and it just felt so soothing, and it really helped all the products that I would put on top of it sink in much faster, and I feel like that way my skin was actually benefiting from all the great qualities of the skincare that I was using at the time. And so this is what really made me believe in hydrosols, which is what brought me to purchase the Wildcare one and future ones of Heart of Gold hydrolats. Can't recommend this enough. I actually had major regrets for not purchasing the full size of the Rose and Chamomile while I was trying this, because by the time I had finished trying it, it was sold out. What I liked to use the Rose and Chamomile hydrolat with also was Heart of Gold's serums. So I had 2 serums that I was trying, which were the Oxford, Antioxidant serum plus the Magic Mushroom Hydrating Serum. So these 2 came in these 2 small vials. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I tend to switch in skincare at a very slow rate because my skin is very sensitive, so it tends to freak out a little when I kind of overhaul any skincare. So I will always stick to my kind of current skincare routine and switch in one product at a time. And the first one that I switched in was the Oxford, Antioxidant Serum. So this one, the focus is rejuvenating antioxidant support. And basically Ali said that the best way to use this serum, along with most of her serums, is to make sure you're applying it to very damp skin. So I actually started incorporating it into my evening skincare instead of my morning skincare. And what I would do is I would spritz my face generously with Hydrosol, the Wildcare one, and I would also spritz in a bit of the Hydrosol with the serum in the palm of my hand, and then mix it and apply it over the face. So that is when I feel like it really did deliver all the like amazing antioxidants in the serum, and I really preferred using it in the evening. It's not like it was intense or caused me to be red in any way. I think it was just naturally I had a feeling that I would like it more in the evening time than I did in the daytime. So I just switched over to using it in the evenings, and I really loved it in the evenings. I can't say that I noticed anything that I would say was specifically improved by it, but I think it definitely didn't hurt anything. It definitely, to me, felt like my skin was happy and healthy in the evening time. And also, I think I was just really drawn to the scent of it. At first, I couldn't tell what the scent reminded me of, so it's a bit like alcohol, but also floral and really earthy. I really love the scent. So after switching the Oxford Antioxidant Serum into my evening routine, I switched in the Magic Mushroom Hydrating Serum as my daytime serum. And that one, as you may have also seen in my recent favorites AM skincare video, I really loved the serum. It is super hydrating. It smells so nice, like you're walking through like a forest. One thing to note about both of these serums, or serums in general, while I love both of them, it is tough for me to purchase both, if even one, because I do have a limit to, or like a budget to my skincare, and that's really based off of a lot of different factors. It's based off of how much I'm earning, how much we use owning a house, utilities, and just day-to-day life. And so I try my best always to use up skincare before I purchase new ones, unless it's during the sale time, which is really the only time I do any haul, because I love a good deal. So especially if I know I'm going to be finishing something and purchasing another, I would rather purchase them during sales versus, not sales time. So it's hard for me to justify purchasing serums as much as I love them. And I am also, I would say, more of a skincare minimalist. So I'm not using like 8 different steps in my morning and skincare routines. I don't have like a lot of different masks around at any given time. So I like to use up all my skincare when I feel like it is most fresh, especially in green beauty. I think that's really important. And so I try to keep my skincare minimal, because that's also what happens to work with my skin. My skin doesn't like a lot of like different activity. It's a creature of habit, as am I. And so I really like to use up everything while it's fresh and in a fashion that I think works with my skin. But that's not to say that both of these serums aren't great. So if I had the extra money, I would definitely purchase it. But right now, I don't think my skin necessarily needs it, and I don't have the money to allocate to serums just yet. Then last of the Heart of Gold samples is the Night Swimming Renewal Toner. So this one, I should have mentioned that most of these, I'll mention it in the description box below too, but most of these I got as a really generous gift from Ali herself when I had won the giveaway back in summertime, when I won the Liminal Spaces oil serum, and she was really kind to send over, along with the giveaway, just a small collection of samples. So that's where all these samples that I've been using up have come from. But the Night Swimming Renewal Toner was also to me a sleeper hit. I'm currently using her Starkeeper Mineral Toner, and that was because I had just visited an esthetician here in Portland, Rebecca from Uncomanyaro, and she had used it, and I immediately thought it was such a unique product, so I wanted to get it. But again, Ali was so generous to send me a bottle of it. But the Night Swimming Renewal Toner, I think, is as great. This one focuses on brightening, hydrating, and gentle resurfacing, which I completely agree with. I would also say it's affirming to me. When I finished the Marie Veronique and Kristina Holey Balancing HypoTonic, I switched over to the Night Swimming Renewal Toner as my morning cleanse. And so I spritzed it onto a damp cotton round, and I wiped it over my face as my morning cleanse, and I loved it. It immediately smells of sake to me, which is one of the ingredients, one of like the first few ingredients in here. Again, I wasn't expecting a lot from this, and I think it definitely proved me wrong. It was brightening because even just a few days of using that sample as my AM and PM toning step, I saw that my skin brightened, and it also felt like it was firming for me, which was an added bonus, I think. I think if you want a firming toner, Night Swimming is a great one, especially if you want something that's also brightening and resurfacing. The Starkeeper one, I think, is great if you want something more nourishing, I would say. But both, I think, are excellent in their own right, and I think I will definitely be picking up Night Swimming Renewal Toner maybe after I finish Starkeeper, and then just like juggle back and forth between the two. And then last, which isn't here because I shattered the glass, it was another sample of the Northern Lights Oil Serum, which you will have seen while it was still whole and in my skincare routine. In my most recent video for my AM skincare, this one is my new favorite daytime facial oil. And that's because during the day, I don't like anything to feel super heavy on the skin, and that's because I'm also using sunscreen, which can feel a bit heavy on the skin, and especially if I'm also putting on makeup, I want to be able to limit my skincare a bit so that it's still nourishing but doesn't feel as heavy, because I know I'll be layering a lot of different things on top of it. And the Northern Lights Oil Serum is a lighter facial oil, but it is still super nourishing. To me, it's instantly cooling, especially with my easily inflamed skin. So I think on days when I go foundation, concealer free, and I just have on skincare and sunscreen, throughout the day I'll notice that it feels like my skin can breathe, which is a huge plus for me, because I haven't found any skincare in clean beauty that I think does that. That feels like my skin can breathe, but it's still hydrated, it's still happy. So I noticed a huge difference when I started incorporating this into my skincare routine, and I loved it so much that I went to purchase a full size of it. So if that's not testament to how much I love it, I don't know what is. And this will definitely be my daytime facial oil moving forward for at least the next, I think the full size bottle also lasts 18 months. At least for the foreseeable 18 months, this will be my daytime facial oil, and I know that my skin loves it. It's been so happy, it's been balanced, it's been hydrated, it's nourishing. I can't say enough good things about this. So this is an empty bottle of the Desert Essence Organic Jojoba oil. I just got this off Amazon. This is, I believe, my second bottle of this. The first bottle I got was the same size, the same product, and I had used it as a hair mask, basically. My hair is super fine, and it gets oily and like weighed down really easily, so I actually don't use any conditioner, I just use shampoo. But because I do that, and I wasn't using like a hair oil or any other hair treatment, my scalp was extremely unbalanced, and it was like dry, flaky, but also oily. It was not good. So I had read online that using this jojoba oil, or just any jojoba oil, as a hair mask before you hop in the shower is a great way to balance your scalp. So I had purchased this a while back last year, my first bottle, because I had my bout of dermatitis, and the jojoba oil was what I was using as like a facial cleanser and moisturizer during that time, because I was using nothing else besides this and calamine lotion to help the itch. In order to kind of work off the calamine lotion, I was using this to remove it, and it was super gentle. My skin loved it. It was really great. And then afterwards, because it doesn't look like a large bottle, but you need so little of it, so I was having a hard time figuring out what I should use it for next. So I started incorporating this as a hair mask before I hopped in the shower. Basically what I did was I would dampen my hair and then squeeze out maybe half a tablespoon's worth into the palm of my hand, and I would work it into my hair. So really like starting with like the scalp, giving it a bit of massage, and then moving towards like the back of the neck, and then onto the rest of my hair. And then I would just like put it up in a ponytail or a bun and do my evening like facial cleanse part of my routine. Then I'd hop in the shower, shampoo it off, and because I was using this as a hair mask treatment, I would double cleanse with my shampoo. So I'd first use like a tiny bit of shampoo, work it in, and kind of get the first layer off, and then the second time I'd go in with like my regular amount of shampoo, and then make sure like I did a good cleanse. And then once I hopped out of the shower, it was great. I started doing this every time I washed my hair, which is like every other day, and this really helped to balance my scalp. I also like use this to remove eye makeup, like any stubborn eye makeup. So this was the second bottle that I had used as my hair mask that I finished. We also used half of it to dilute my husband's, what he uses as like cologne, which is, he likes to use patchouli essential oil, but since just straight out the bottle, patchouli is a concentrated essential oil, so I diluted it with half and just like I ordered a glass spray bottle from Amazon, and that was another great way of using this too. So continuing with the train of shampoo, let me show you my favorite shampoo. This is the Innersense Pure Harmony Hair Bath, and this is my favorite shampoo of all time. This empty is probably my third bottle, and I'm currently on my fourth bottle, I think. This is my perfect shampoo. It doesn't weigh my hair down. It smells like mango fruit punch, I think. It foams, but not too much. The ingredient list is impeccable compared to most shampoo ingredient lists. I also find that while the scent is like more sweet than most of the things I use, I don't mind it as much because I think it's still pretty mild compared to some other shampoos. I also just need like a very little amount, so one of these will last me maybe like 4 months, 5 months. Repurchased this during the Credo Friends and Family sale, which unfortunately is already over by the time this video goes up, but I picked up another bottle of this because I love to stock up when Credo and Detox Market do their Friends and Family sale, which is, I feel, to me, their Black Friday sale version. I think now is probably a great time to switch over to our haul portion. So aside from purchasing the, so see, this is my Credo order. I got another bottle of the Innersense Pure Harmony Hair Bath. And then, along with that, I've also purchased the Henné Organics Lip Serum. So I had heard so many great things about this on YouTube, Instagram. It's pricey. It's $45 for 10 milliliters of it. And I also found out once I got the box that this only lasts 9 months, which I'm like, now I regret a little buying it. If it costs $45, I would have hoped that it would last at least 12 months, but I understand that it's a lip serum, and also maybe because of the roller ball, it's not as hygienic, so that's fine. But at least I got it on sale. So another great reason for, if you want to try something that you don't feel comfortable splurging the full price on, sale time is a great time to try those things. So I will try this and I will let you guys know what I think about it. Then one last body thing that I forgot to mention. So this is a deluxe sample size of the fur oil. I got this as, I think, like a 500 or 200 point perk from Credo Beauty, and I got this, I think, early summertime, and it's okay. Like, I had heard raves about it, and while I was using it, it was very nice. It's a lighter oil, but I would say that it doesn't really sink into the skin. Feels like it just stays on top of my skin even when I'm working it in on damp skin. As a body oil, it's not that great. At least I don't think it's anything groundbreaking. The scent itself is like a sweet lemon candy. As an oil for like softening pubic hair, this is fantastic. This is exactly what they're marketed as for, and it really does do that. I noticed an immediate difference. Would I buy a full bottle of it for that reason? No. Yeah, I would probably just continue to use my body oil instead. Now moving on to a few empties that I've already talked about on this channel. So I went through another Cocofloss. If you know this is my favorite dental floss. I also went through 2 of my vitamins, 2 bottles worth. You also know that I love this. And now moving on to a bit of dental care along with the floss. We've also gone through several tubes of toothpaste, which I didn't talk much about. I don't think I mentioned it last time. But we have been going through several tubes of the Jason toothpastes. We've been switching between the Sea Fresh Strengthening Paste in Deep Sea Spearmint or the Parasmile Whitening Paste in Powerful Peppermint. Both of these are great. Don't have any cavities from using them, so that's good. But recently we have also tried the Tom's Anti-Plaque and Whitening Fluoride-Free Toothpaste in Peppermint. My husband really loves this one. He says it feels like his teeth are much cleaner from this one versus the Jason ones. I agree with him that it does that. If you want kind of that conventional toothpaste, like your teeth feel like squeaky clean feeling, this one is really great at doing that. But to me, flavor wise, this one, and I know it's gonna sound weird, this one tastes a bit salty, or like a little bit saltier, just not as sweet, I guess. It's as minty as this one, but just not as sweet. And I know that this one doesn't contain any sugar, I don't think. Yeah, so the Jason ones contain a bit of stevia leaf extract, which contributes to the sweet taste, and then the Tom's doesn't at all. So just depending on your preference. But I think both of these are great, or I should say all 3 of them are great. And now moving on to a bit of makeup declutter. But first I wanted to talk about the RMS Mod Collection Signature Palette. So that one I finished shortly after my previous Empties video, and I did an entire IG stories on how to recycle that product. It is time consuming, but I like to go the extra step because I know as long as I am taking these extra steps to recycle these products, it does help a lot in guaranteeing that they actually do get recycled the way they should be. TerraCycle partners with several stores and several clean beauty stores there. To me, they were most known at Credo Beauty because they have a partnership where you can bring in your empties to any Credo Beauty store and get Credo reward points for bringing in empties. I unfortunately don't live by Credo anymore, otherwise I would totally do that. But in the meantime, let's get into some makeup declutters. So these are two of the Bite Beauty multi-sticks. So I got this as a duo that was on sale at Sephora last year. It's supposed to be good for lips, cheeks, eyelids, and I've used both of these in all of those ways, and I like it. I just don't love it. And really, there's nothing wrong with it. I think it performs perfectly well. I have an Instagram post on both these with swatches and talking more about like the colors. I have both the shades Cashew and Papaya. Cashew is like a dusty rose nude. If you know RMS Lip to Cheek in Spell, that's what this is. I think it's a great color for literally all over the face. And then Papaya is also another great one for anywhere on the face. It's definitely a brighter pink than Cashew, but it's not too warm, it's not too cool. It's really a perfect pink for, I think, many skin tones. It's great on the eyes, great on the cheeks, and I love this color on the lips just to bring like a bit more life into my face. As much as I liked both shades, because both shades are something I would naturally gravitate towards, I didn't use them as often as I thought I would, and I did leave them out so that they were like at the forefront of my mind and I can remember to use them. But as you can see, it already being a mini size, there's still so much product left, and both of these last, I believe, 18 months once opened, and if not, then definitely at least 12 months. So I think this is just a testament that I don't reach for them as often. I think maybe it's just because of the drier formula, it's harder to work on my cheeks and, yeah, more on my cheeks. And since I already don't like them on the lips, I wasn't using them as much that way either. And then on my eyes, I would always prefer to use something else. So I think while it is a great multitasking product, for some reason I just don't gravitate towards it as much as I thought I would. I've since found others that are similar that I like a lot more, like the RMS Lip to Cheek and Spell that was part of the Mod collection palette that I had, I loved, and it's almost an exact dupe of Cashew. And even though that one is much more emollient, and I tend to not like tackier feeling items on my skin, I still chose to use that one over Cashew, even though I prefer like a matter texture on my skin. So it's weird, but yeah, I just didn't go for either of these as much. This is the Oleo e Oso Tinted Balm in number 8 Persimmon. If you follow me on my channel, on Instagram, you know that I love this product. It is what I would consider a holy grail. It's a color that I don't have in anything else, in a lipstick, in a blush, in an eyeshadow, nothing. Nothing compares to this color. So that's why I feel like I want to hold on to it for as long as I can. And if you've seen my videos where I have featured this product, you'll know that I use it daily. And the fact that I used it daily for a year, which is how long these last for, these last 12 months once opened, I still have this much left. I am almost 99% sure that this would last me at least like 2 more years if I continued to use it for that long. Again, the scent hasn't gone off. I just used it the other day and the texture isn't any different. So I'm on the fence of whether or not I should keep this. But needless to say, I love this color. I don't have anything else in that's like it. And I would definitely repurchase this shade. But speaking of repurchasing the shade, while I love this color, especially on the lips, I have used it on the cheeks and eyes before, but I don't like that the texture is, even though it feels light on my skin, it is tacky. So that means, like, because of my long fine hair, if there's wind, it gets stuck on my cheek and that stuff tends to bother me. And I don't like to overly use powder because I am breakout prone, so that mixed with my dry skin, sometimes if it's too dry I tend to break out. So I try not to powder when I'm using this on my cheeks. So I was kind of on the hunt for something in like as beautiful a color as this. So onto a haul portion. I placed an order for the Rituel de Fille Inner Glow Cream Pigment in Delirium. So I haven't even opened this yet. I'm still considering whether or not I want to use that up before I open up this, but I'm already 100% sure that I'm definitely going to be opening this up right after this video finishes. So I really wanted to keep it so that I could take some shots of it without me having touched it at all or swatched it. This is another like multitasking product from Rituel de Fille. You can use it on your lips, eyes, and cheeks. It also lasts 12 months once opened, and from what I could see on the site, the color looks very similar to Oleoyoso's Persimmon. So this, the Rituel de Fille, I think maybe they're still doing the 20% off Black Friday. They had an earlier version of it. I think just this past week or so, I am signed up for their newsletter, and so I think they did like the first pass of the Black Friday sale with newsletter subscribers. So I got 20% off this. Now on to the second to last, we're almost done. Second to last empty. This is the Weis lip tint in Goddess. This case for the lip tint is the original one that I got in the shade Captivate, but the current refill I have in here is the shade Goddess. So I've already done an Instagram post on this particular shade and their lip tint in general. And I will say that this being my second lip tint that I've tried, that I'm just not as impressed with it as I want to be. I think anything Weis, I always expect it to be really high performing because of the price. Because it's a lip tint, I imagine it to be definitely more emollient and more hydrating than their lipstick in bullet form. But this being my second one, it is still not as moisturizing as I want it to be. This shade, because it is deeper, if I am building it up, it does get stuck in like the fine lines and like the texture of my lips. So that's another thing that's a bummer. But as you can see, like these last a whole year once opened, and I have barely made a dent. I've tried to also use it maybe as like a blush, but it's very hard to work with to have it spread around evenly enough for it to work as a blush. So because of that frustration, I just never use it. And then as a lip color, there's always other lip formulas that I prefer on my drier lips. So this unfortunately will be decluttered. It still has like a month left, so I may try and see if my mom wants to use it instead. But we'll see. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm definitely keeping the case just in case I want to try a different shade at some point. But having tried two and already being as disappointed 2 times, I feel like a third time is really just doing myself a disservice. And then another declutter is this powder from Ilia. So this is their flow through translucent powder in Moondance. It's also SPF 20. This one I've also done an Instagram post on, and it's just not what I was hoping it would be. First of all, the packaging, while being pretty awesome, it unfortunately doesn't function the way that it should. So basically you twist up the brush and then you make sure that you click into this part that says open, and then you flip it over. I'm not going to do it right now, but you flip it over and then you tap until you kind of see the powder come through, and then you tap it onto your face. You can brush it on, tap it on, buff it on, and it's basically just a setting powder, but it also has SPF, which is great. Unfortunately, it is so difficult to get any of the powder through the brush. I oftentimes have to like really press the brush in until like it flattens out and then swirl it around, and sometimes the powder comes through. But even then, it's hard to control. Sometimes too much powder comes out, but most of the time too little comes out. Also, the powder itself is not my favorite. It's really drying to me. Right now, I think The one that I currently have is the one that has the titanium dioxide as the sunscreen component. I think they've since reformulated so that now it uses zinc oxide, or maybe a combination of zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. And I think that could possibly change how the powder feels a bit. I've noticed that anything with titanium dioxide always, in powder form at least, always feels a bit thicker or like chunkier in a sense. So it's always harder to work with. That I think is zinc oxide. Yeah, it's a really great idea. I love that it's refillable. Also, you can just twist off this bottom part. That's really the reason why I'm keeping it, because I feel like the brush itself is really soft. It's also awesome because you can wash it because it's magnetic. Sorry, I'm just doing it this way because there's a bit of powder here. Yeah, so I'm really keeping it for the packaging. I think it would be great for travel because this is actually a great multitasking brush. I love using it for like powder bronzer, powder blush, and just in general for setting powder. So I think as a travel component, if you just, what I'm probably gonna do is just refill the container with my own setting powder. I also recently watched a video from Reagan Hart here on YouTube, who said that she learned from someone else on Instagram a better way of using this powder, and I can totally see that being the way to go, which is to remove the brush first from the magnetic enclosure and tap out a bit of product first, or tap out a bit of the powder first, and then put the brush back on and then use it that way. But as you can see, to me that defeats the whole purpose of it being in this package, because then you could be using any powder brush with any setting powder, because you're basically doing the same thing where you're pouring or tapping a bit out of a setting powder container into some sort of lid or your hand, and then using a powder brush to go in with it. So unfortunately, great idea, not so great execution, and hopefully the new powder is better. I've heard great things about the new powder, so maybe that was also what was not working for this one. Yeah, so I guess I didn't dive too much into the sales because there were far less than I thought there would be. Unfortunately, the Credo Friends and Family sale and the Detox Market sale are already over, but I do remember that I think when it comes closer to the actual Black Friday sales that everyone has, they usually do some sort of gift with purchase. So if you are still eyeing some of these items, that is another great time to do it. As I said, Marie Veronique on her site offers a 20% off. Rituel de Fille is probably going to also come back when it's closer to Black Friday to do their actual Black Friday sale, is my guess. And I'm also hoping that Innersense will have one, because I would definitely like to re-up on the shampoo, even though I have another bottle, but I just know I'm gonna go through it anyway. So I'm definitely gonna buy another shampoo of that. And I'm hoping there will be more. If there are any more sales that kind of pop up, I'll be sure to put them on my Instagram stories for you guys. So if you are following me there, make sure you do. And yeah, thank you so much for staying through this entire thing. I know it was a lot, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this Empties video, and I hope you enjoyed my very mini haul, hopefully to have replaced some of these items. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.